All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we'll take a quick look at the big college football matchups for this weekend. We'll take a look back at the matchups from last week, and then take a look at the remaining matchups that I didn't get to so far in the NFL. So, go to last week. There were some good games. You had Alabama barely getting by South Carolina, winning 27-25, improving to 5-1 on the season, and they did lose to Vanderbilt a couple weeks ago. 40-35 after that big win against Georgia, they lose to Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt has beaten them. And who's the other team that they beat? Hold on, I have to go to their schedule really quick. So they beat Alabama, and they also beat they beat Kentucky. Kentucky gave team some problems. Kentucky beat Ole Miss on the road. Um, so that was a good win for them. And then they play Vanderbilt plays Ball State tomorrow, but then the following week they play Texas, and then later in the season they play LSU and Tennessee. So imagine if they beat Texas after beating Alabama, and they barely lost to Missouri, who's ranked seventh right now, double overtime. So so Alabama got back on track, 27-25. Texas all over Oklahoma, 34-3. Illinois, this was an unbelievable game, 50-49 in overtime. They beat Purdue. Purdue's 1-5 on the season. Illinois is 5-1 now. Penn State, they had a comeback win on the road against USC. That was a good game. Penn State's now 6-0 on the season. USC is 3-3. Georgia 41-31 over Mississippi State. So they're 5-1. Tennessee beat Florida 23-17. LSU over Ole Miss in overtime. That was a good game. I caught the end of that. Garrett Nussmeier had 337 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and 2 picks. So yeah, LSU is ranked 13th. Ole Miss is 9th. And then of course you had the game of the week, and that was Oregon against Ohio State. And the ending to that game, it was kind of similar to I don't know, in my opinion at least, it's kind of similar to the ending of the 49ers Cowboys playoff game from a few years ago, where Dak Prescott had a designed run up the middle, and they didn't have any timeouts left. And I still think it's so funny how Tony Romo was like, yeah, no, they got time. They'll be able to do it. And he's like, oh my gosh. And then they weren't able to spike it in time, and the game ended. And that's kind of like what happened here, because Will Howard, their quarterback, he scrambled for 12 yards, but there was no time left. There was only 5 seconds left in the game. So they got in the field goal range. They had a timeout left, but he should have went out. He should have went down a little bit earlier, or they should have maybe come up with a different play. But Oregon got the win. That game was back and forth all game long. A very exciting game. Oregon improves to 6-0 on the season, and Ohio State, they lose their first game of the year. And spoiler alert, I will be watching them in person next week, because I will be at the game when they take on Nebraska. So look out for some shorts that might be coming out next week. And then you had Colorado and Kansas State. That was an entertaining game. Didn't really get to watch it, but Kansas State won 31-28. Colorado dropped to 4-2. Kansas State 5-1 on the season. And we'll talk about Boise State really quickly, because Aston Genti just continues to have a amazing season. I mean, he's putting guys like me on notice as well. That not a huge college football fan, but he's been unbelievable. Right now, he's the favorite for the Heisman. You'd have to say, 31 carries, 217 yards rushing, and a touchdown. He's got 1,248 rushing yards on the season, and he has 17 touchdowns. I'm curious to see where he'll end up going in the NFL draft. I mean, if I'm the Giants, maybe try to get him, not with the second overall pick, but maybe if he's there, maybe you try to get him, because Devin Singletary is not the long-term answer, and that would be a nice little duo with him and Tyrone Tracy, a nice little young running back duo. Why not? So, yeah, those are some of the big games from last week. So then we go to this week. I'm just gonna take a look at the big matchups. You got 6-0 Miami against 4-2 Louisville. That could be that's a good game right now. Louisville's a 5-point underdog. Got Clemson against Virginia. Virginia's 4-2 in the season. Clemson's 5-1. today we got a couple of matchups. We got Oregon and Purdue, and then you got Oklahoma State and BYU. BYU 6-0 on the year. They're 9.5-point favorites. You also got Nebraska at 5-1, who I'll be seeing next week against Indiana, who's 6-0 on the year. Notre Dame, who's 5-1 against Georgia Tech, who's 5-2. You got a pair of 5-1 teams between Alabama and Tennessee. Illinois and Michigan should be a good game. Illinois 5-1 on the year. Michigan 4-2. LSU and Arkansas is a good game. The biggest game of the day is Georgia Texas. Georgia coming in at 5-1. Texas at 6-0. Kind of lean towards Texas in that game. But yeah, that's probably the best game of the slate. But yeah, some good games though. So yeah, we'll see what happens this weekend. Right now with the rankings, I mean, Texas is number 1, Oregon number 2, Penn State 3, Ohio State 4, Georgia 5, Miami 6, Alabama 7, LSU 8, Iowa State 9, Clemson 10. So we'll see, how everything shapes out after this week. But yeah, we're moving right along. The season's almost over, and then I'm really curious to see how this new playoff format's going to look in college. But yeah, so that's the college football slate. Now let's get to the rest of the NFL games that we didn't get to yet. So we'll start off with the best game, literally the best game of the weekend. It gets us started off right Sunday morning. You got the New England Patriots taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. And why? Well, this is what we were given. So I actually am going to take the Patriots to not only cover the spread, but to win the game outright. The Jaguars are just in a free fall. And I know it's Drake May's second career start. I get it. Call me crazy. But I think the Jaguars, they're done. I wouldn't be surprised if Doug Peterson got fired at the end of this game. You thought maybe the Jaguars are starting to string something together, playing a little bit better. They did pick up their first win, but it didn't amount to anything. The Bears destroyed them last week, and I just think, they're going to mail it in. And for the Patriots, I mean, I know they got blown out by the Texans, but Drake May showed you a little bit of something. And I think against the Jaguars team that's not very good, I think he can have a good game. And I think the Patriots, they could go in there and maybe pull off the upset. Why not? If you want to call it an upset. But yeah, I actually like the Patriots to win this game outright. Because the Jaguars just are not good. And the Patriots aren't good either, but, rookie quarterback, let's see what happens. So then you got the Seahawks and the Falcons. Falcons 4-2, Seahawks 3-3. Falcons right now are 3-point favorites. Falcons are starting to play better. They won in different ways these past couple weeks. This past week, it was running the football with their two running backs, Algier and Bijan Robinson. The week before that, Kirk Cousins threw for over 500 yards. I like the Falcons in this game. I think they're the better team. The Seahawks are kind of reeling right now. I expect there to be a lot of points to be scored, but I like them to cover the number and win the game outright and improve to 5-2 on the season. Then you got Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans taking on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Right now the number is 9.5. I think the Bills blow them out. Will Levis just is not playing well. You already got Calvin Ridley complaining about not getting the ball, even though he was targeted 8 times and did not catch any of his targets. I do like their rushing attack with Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears, but this game is going to get out of hand quickly, in my opinion. And then Will Levis is going to have to throw the football, and I just don't really trust him right now. So I expect there to be a lot of turnovers in this game from the Titans side. I expect Will Levis to turn the ball over. And I expect Josh Allen and that offense to just tear apart that Titans defense. Even though the Titans defense is not bad, but I just think the Bills are going to blow them out, in my opinion. So, but see, I'm super confident in that, and then it's not going to happen. But yeah, give me the Bills. I like them to win this game and cover the number. Then you got the Bengals and the Browns. This is an interesting game. Right now the Browns are 5.5-point underdogs at home. The Bengals are a team, for some reason, Joe Burrow and the Bengals, they struggle in Cleveland. They just cannot win in Cleveland. But the Browns, I mean, they just can't put up points. But they will be getting Nick Chubb back, which is huge for this offense, even though they just traded Amari Cooper. But now Jerry Jeudy slides into that number one receiver role. I don't know. And the Bengals' defense is not good. I know the Giants, they shut them down, but the Giants' offense it's inconsistent. We'll leave it at that. But yeah, I like the. I'm gonna take the Bengals in this game. I think and Nick Chubb. I know he's coming back, and that's great. But I think he's gonna be on a snap count. So and as we move along here, he'll get more involved, and but Deshaun Watson has not played well, and Nick Chubb is just coming back. I think the Bengals, they should win this game, and if they don't, I really don't know what to say. All right, then we got the Dolphins and the Colts. This is an interesting game. The offense has actually looked better with Joe Flacco as the quarterback, but Anthony Richardson is going to return. I do like the Colts to win this game, but I do think with the Dolphins coming off of a bye, I think they're going to at least keep it within the number. So I do like the Dolphins to cover, but I think the Colts win. Then we got the Eagles and the Giants. Giants are 3-point underdogs at home. Saquon Barkley makes his return to MetLife Stadium. Call me a homer, but I'm going to take the Giants in this game. Yep, I'm going to take the Giants. The Eagles have not impressed me this year, and it wouldn't surprise me, of course, if they just destroy that secondary with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, but this Giants defense is going to give this Eagles offense problems. On the other side, can the Giants offense generate enough points to win this game? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this game is like how it was in New Orleans, where it was like 15-12. It would not surprise me if that's the kind of game we get. I think Saquon Barkley will, do some damage in this game, but I do think the Giants, they'll shut him down to an extent. And I do think they'll get after Jalen Hurts. This is a good Giants defense, and the Eagles have not impressed me. So I actually think the Giants will pull off the upset here. And we'll come back on Monday, and the final score will be like 46-24 Eagles. But I think the Giants can win this game. The Giants play good when no one expects them to win. So, well, I don't think no one expects them to win, but not a lot of people are thinking the Giants have a shot. But I'm going to take the Giants. I mean, at least if they cover, so be it. But they got to win a home game at some point, right? And they did beat up on the Eagles last year late in the season. I know Barkley played in that game, but, we'll see. All right, so a few more games here. You got the Raiders and the Rams. Rams coming off of a bye. Raiders coming off of that loss to the Steelers. Yeah, the Raiders, they're kind of in a free fall right now. The Rams, they could be getting Cooper Kupp back. Sean McVay off of a bye. The Raiders, they can't really run the football. Who's going to stop? I mean, Brock Bowers has looked good. That's one positive you can look at when it comes to their offense. I think the Rams, it's a big number, but I think they could cover it. Like I said, coming off of the bye, and I think they're going to be a little bit healthier. So Kyron Williams, I think, will have a big game. If Cooper Kupp comes back, expect him to be involved. Also, those rumors I'm hearing of, I don't know if anybody, I don't believe them, but Matthew Stafford maybe going to the Giants. I don't know how true that is. Would the Rams actually trade Stafford? Is that actually like on the table? I mean, we'll see, but maybe if they fall out of it. This is a big game for the Rams, and if they win this game, you get Puka Nacua back soon. And then you still got a season, but right now 1-4, not great. So let's see if they can get a win. But yeah, I like them. I do like them to win this game. All right, then we got the Panthers and the Commanders. Commanders are 8.5-point favorites. They came off a tough loss against the Ravens. I like the Commanders in this game to win and cover. The Panthers, their defense is really bad. I don't think they're going to be able to keep up with the Commanders' offense. We'll see. It's a big number. They could backdoor. Andy Dalton hasn't been bad, but Commanders are playing good football right now, and I expect them to win by a couple of scores. So give me the Commanders. And then finally, we got the Jets and the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams against Russell Wilson, just like old times, right? Steelers coming in at 4-2, Jets 2-4. It's a tough game to pick. I'm going to take the Jets to win this game. I mean, they have to. If they lose this game, I don't really know where you go from here. I mean, I don't really know where they go from after the loss to the Bills. But then they traded for Devontae Adams, and you're like, okay, all right, let's see what happens. But I'm going to say they win this game. The Steelers are missing some guys on defense. I don't really know what to expect from Russell Wilson in this game. I think the Jets will squeak by, get the win, get themselves to 3-4, and then maybe this is the beginning of a new season for them. But this is kind of it for them, because if they lose this game, then I just where the win. Well, they have a light schedule, but it's just you got to get yourself back to 500, and this would be one step towards that. So, all right, so that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think, though, about any predictions you may have. Let me know in the comments. And, yeah, that is all the time that we have for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to check out all the other shows as well. Give the other shows some love. Like I always say, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Greatly appreciated. And until next time, I'm Kenneth Grunfelder signing off from the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day. Enjoy the games this weekend. Enjoy the weekend in general. And I will talk to you guys on Monday. Take care.